morning, guys. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. You know me, I'm Tom. Okay, let's go by the numbers. I'm going to show you this deck that I'm getting ready to stain. And I'm also going to show you the prep work that I'm going to do to get this deck ready to be stained. Okay? So, now, for you to be able to come out and knowing every single step that you have to do, and that way you're not wasting any time, and you can get right to the job, and then when you get off the job, you know everything's right. Okay? These are my basic things. Caution tape when I'm done. My exterior white. My deck stain, which is latex. My primer. My deck brush. My trim brush, Dynaflex 230, because I've got a caulk, my caulk gun, and of course the tape. Now, I've already taped off the areas that I don't want any paint on, like the brick, the house, the edge, the siding. I don't want none of the stain to touch that gray, okay? Plus, I taped up here around the posts, and as you can see, the cracks, which have all got to be caulked in on all 4 posts. Okay? Now, the next step after you caulk these posts is you can see rust. So what would you think? You would need a stain blocker. That's where Kilz 2 comes into play. First thing you do is you then use your Kilz and you go ahead and put on 1 thick coat and let that dry. Next, you come up here and decide what corner of the deck. Now, this deck has never been stained, which is great. This is unusual, very unusual to see a 12-year-old house. The deck's never been stained before. The power washing bleached it out perfectly. And I do want to tell you guys about bleach. Yes, you use 100% straight bleach, full concentrate on all the white. Remember, just the white. If you do it on just the white, everything will come out nice and clean and shiny. The next thing I had to do was tie up this swing because it's going to get in my way, so I want it out of the way. You can see staples were used with this, okay? And of course they're steel, so they'll rust. The old trusty van outside. Oh, I got my tripod set up. Let's use it. Okay. See if I can set it up here without making too many mistakes. And there we go. Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. You know me, I'm Tom. Okay, let me get right down to it. This is a really straightforward job. There's not a lot of, there's no repair work, let's put it that way, okay? This is a straight caulk it, primer it, paint it, stain it. 4 basic steps. Of course, I had to power wash it first, so there's 5 steps involved. I power washed it yesterday. It was 60, 70 degrees. It's about 36 to 38 degrees right now. I'm going to wait about another 15, 20 minutes, but I'm going to go ahead and start caulking now. Get all these posts caulked, and then the temperature will come up a little bit. And I'm on the shade side, so when the sun comes across at noon, it'll put a lot of heat. It'll get about 60 degrees, so really perfect temperature for doing this kind of work. And it's sunny. Yesterday it was super windy, but there's no wind today, so it's perfect for doing this kind of work. Now, I'll get done with this entire thing in 6 hours. Okay, it really just doesn't take a lot of time. If you tape off your areas first, this way, the reason why I tape is because after I tape it, which took me all of 20 minutes, the whole thing took me 20 minutes to tape, no big deal, okay? Then I can speed paint. I don't have to worry about making mistakes, especially up against the house, the siding. That's the area where you definitely don't want to get any deck stain on the house, okay? So if you have a 1.5 inch strip of tape there, it just gives you a reassurance, you know, a little peace of mind that you're not going to get too sloppy, okay? And if you're a really good painter, you're not going to get sloppy anyway, but it's just that extra barrier of protection. That's the only way I think about it, okay? And if you guys choose to freehand this, go ahead. I could freehand this with no problem. Problem is, I don't want to take any chances, especially if it only takes me 20 minutes to tape. No big deal, okay? I'm going to have this whole thing done in 6 hours anyway, so who cares? I'll put tape on it. Then I look for any problems with the wood, like nails popping out. And in this case here, the deck's in good shape. So I don't really have to do anything to the deck. So really, just straightforward painting and get the job done, okay? So when you go after a job like this, you got to ask yourself a few questions. You know, which step do you take first? You know, which way do you, you know, want to handle staining? Do you want to roll it on, or do you want to use a brush? Good morning.
Morning.
Now, if you want to use a brush, in my case, I'll hand brush this whole thing on if I choose to, because it's just as quick. I can get in between the thing, even if you use a really thick roller, and you're going to burn up a lot of paint. Remember, this paint is $42 a gallon. When you start thinking about how much paint you're going to put on, and especially this is latex, you know, water-based paint, you still want it to go on nice and thick, but at the same time, too, you don't want to glob it on, okay? You don't want to just glob it on. You want to make sure it's all consistent, a good smooth coat of paint across all the wood. And it may take me another, you know, hour to do it by hand, but I use less paint, less stain, and I'm guaranteed that everything that I do is in the cracks. Everything's fine. There's no bubbles. There's nothing. It just comes straight out of the can, nice and smooth and neat. Okay, guys, let me get at this project here, and then tomorrow I got to go on another enclosed porch job, hanging up all these customized curtains, and there's a strong possibility Sunday I might be on a big landscaping job Sunday, and then I start another big deck job on Monday over at the Toll Brothers neighborhood. Okay, guys, love you all. You know what to do. Thumbs up, comments as always, and I'll check you guys on another video, and please subscribe.